Hey people, I hope you're having a lovely day. Today it's going to be a bit of a different video, but it's related to the next chat I'm releasing next week, hopefully, and it has to do with women. I think it's a topic that's slightly overdone, but it keeps surprising me. Recently I saw this post on Twitter, and as you can see, it goes about over how men feel threatened when their loved ones, well, female loved ones, make more money than them. And I found it ridiculous, extremely toxic, and peak incel behavior. And I thought I could share my thoughts on it and also share my own story because it's kinda relevant to it. And for anyone ready to type woke soy boy in the comments, first of all, thank you for the engagement. Comments really help. Please make sure to share the video as well. And second of all, please note that I was raised by a very conservative Greek Orthodox Christian family. And we had my grandfather as a patriarch, and I was raised by a single mother. Your comments there. And I even went to a Christian school, which was ultra-conservative. And I'm also happily engaged to a female. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand jealousy, and I also completely understand hating on women. I understand jealousy, but I do not understand hating on women in power, unless obviously they deserve it, and there's some good examples of it. But this study and the post specifically speak about your loved ones. And this seems like some sort of new level of insecurity and stupidity. Seriously, how can you not be happy when someone dear to you is doing well? Alright, let's go through the post itself, some comments and then the article itself. Let's see what people think. Also, in case you're wondering, this is later in the day, I had to go on a side quest. Write down in the comments what you think the side quest was. I'm going to give you multiple choice and yeah, pick one. Or come up with yours, if it's funny. Too many men feel threatened by the success of women in love. Evidence. If their wives earn more money than them, men are less satisfied with their marriages, they feel less masculine and more inadequate. Tell that to my father, he fucking loved that shit. Anyway, I really like it when people post studies and stuff without links. That really helps. Look at the source, it's written by all women. If you're going to talk about how it plays out in real life, especially for men, maybe let a few of them in the room. Look, I've heard from female friends of mine that they're like, oh, I wish I had the option to be a housewife. But like, women who make more than their husbands are more likely to divorce their husbands. Maybe don't get married unless you actually care for that person. It needs to be a competition, stop being a loser. Okay, women who earn more are becoming more difficult. That's one for you ladies. God forbid someone is a successful woman. Not me, I'd be happy to marry a rich woman so that when she cheats or leaves, I'm the one getting paid, which is probably going to do. Kinda based. Nobody has actually linked the article. A recipe for disaster, female breadwinner relationships. Not tag along. Fucking Christ. Alright, jump cut. I need something to help me through this abstract. Should buy some tires. That's very manly of me. Female breadwinner relationships, FBRs, occur when a woman earns more money than her male romantic partner. In 4 studies, we use diverse methods to document the threat. First, a reflexive thematic analysis of 94 newspaper and magazine articles about FBRs identified themes concerning social stigma and feelings of gender threat that undermine well-being for FBRs, alongside themes concerning hope for a more egalitarian future. Next, 2 pre-register experiments revealed stigmatizing attitudes towards FBRs, which were perceived to be less desirable, worse quality, and less stable than male breadwinner relationships. Finally, a cross-sectional study of married women and men affirmed that feelings of gender threat partially explain FBR's poor relationship outcomes. Across all 4 studies, and consistent with the women in FBRs, these findings offer novel insight into heterosexual scripts and the punishing social consequences for people who violate those scripts, and suggest that only social stigma about FBRs may pose a barrier to gender equality in close relationships in society. What the fuck are you talking about? What's more equal than women being able to be the breadwinners? What's more equal than husbands tending to the kids? Like, how many kids do they need to grow up without fathers before we are saying it's okay to have a father at home? Okay, so we have some diagrams. FBRs threaten heterosexual scripts. Violators will be punished. Future feminist utopia, joyful troublemaking, girl bossing our way into the future. Well-serviced husbands don't complain or wonder, what the fuck is this, the 50s? Am I retarded or is this the same graph? It's like the meme, oh, HR wants you to find the difference between the 2 pictures. It's the same picture. In one of the best moments in the Star Trek movie franchise, the Starship Enterprise travels back in time to the 20th century Earth to avert planetary disaster. Hilarity ensues as the crew tries to make sense of antiquated cultural concepts like money, social inequality, and the punk aesthetic. This is like something you fit into ChatGPT. Can you give me a summary of all the points and data from this paper? Media analysis method. Analyze 94 newspaper and magazine articles discussing FBRs. FBRs are often portrayed negatively, emphasizing social stigma and gender threat. Men in FBRs are depicted as emasculated or demoralized, while women are labeled with terms like alpha female, suggesting dominance and deviation from traditional roles. Some articles offer hope for egalitarian relationships, but men suggest returning to traditional gender roles to resolve issues. Conducted 2 pre-registered experiments with sample size of 800 and 1,600 participants. Findings. Participants perceived FBRs as less desirable, of poor quality, and more likely to end than male breadwinner relationships. Men in FBRs were believed to experience greater feelings of gender nonconformity and inadequacy compared to women. Women's experiences in FBRs were perceived as relatively unaffected, indicating a potential shift in social expectations for women. Higher female income relative to male partners correlated with lower relationship quality. Men report stronger association between gender threat and reduced relationship quality than women. The research underscores the need to reevaluate social norms and support structure to accommodate evolving gender roles in relationships. Are there geographical data for any of these studies? Which countries did they cover? So you're telling me that this is about the Anglosphere, or most of it anyway, which has social unrest. A lot of social issues are getting investigated. Men are getting bombarded by different things from people like Andrew Tate, Pizzagate, Gamergate. Because if we're talking between 2013 and 2019, that's all the social issues from newspapers, God knows which ones. Then we have people just hired for it, which is fine. But that's specifically Canada and the United States, and that's not a big part of the world. And married adults living in the United States during COVID, which was a stressful time. Alright, so it's an opinion piece based on other opinion pieces, and a research conducted during stressful times that people could feel inadequate, and this is spreading through tech circles now. What are we supposed to do? Like, I can completely imagine it, that there's a bunch of alpha sigmas or whatever just shitting on people when their wives earn more. And we saw it in the Twitter comments as well. There were people that were like, oh yeah, men should be earning more, it's a competition. What? Do you hate extra money? Do you hate it when women are not dependent on you for their survival and comfortable living? In my relationship, I've actually experienced both extremes. I supported my fiance through university. I pretty much just told her, don't worry about working, I make enough money to support both of us. She finished uni, she finished her master's, and then when she got a job, I was actually affected by corporate layoffs. And she's now making more than I do while I'm trying to figure out what to do with my life. And it's a discussion that, how much do we need as a household? How can we make that amount of money? What are we going for? For example, are we saving for a house? And everyone contributes something different. And it's not always about monetary gain. And it's one of those things that women often complain about, and rightfully so, about housework or about who's there, who's available, emotional support. There's a lot of things that go into a relationship outside of monetary gain. If your masculinity is tied to how much money you're earning, maybe consider that this is a toxic trait of your society or some sort of issue you have personally. It's not shameful. Everyone's going through things. Everyone has suppressed issues. Everyone has confidence issues sometimes. And this is why we don't want to create more issues to more people for no reason. Especially if it's your life partner, the one who's doing well. Being vulnerable to them is kind of part of their job description, if that makes sense. And one of the things that is extremely concerning to me is, like, if men are treating women who are their partners or the mothers, the sisters, like that, how do they treat women that are not related to them? How do they treat someone who might be their manager at work or someone they might be hiring? Do you only feel comfortable being around someone who makes less money than you and who has less power than you? That's weird. A lot of the time you hear guys complaining that their wives or partners or whatever do not earn enough and they have to support them. So this is the first time I hear someone complaining that, oh no, my partner is making a lot of money. In the next chat I'll be releasing, we're going with my guest through a conversation about how effective the efforts for women in tech have become, and we go through some details. But one of the things that really stuck with me is that she mentioned that still we don't see enough women in boardrooms. Maybe this sort of attitude is more widespread than I imagined. And why?